in these.
Hit him with the moon side!
From the shadows, where the future is forged and extinction looms. One agent, one mission to reclaim what was stolen. She is Hattie Shaw, an elite MI6 operative infiltrating the digital heart of terror itself, Eteon. Her objective, a weapon, a programmable virus, codenamed Snowflake, capable of rewriting life itself. But to keep it from them, to shield humanity from its deadliest creation, she made an impossible choice. She injected the cure, the contagion, into herself. Now, she is the target, the deadliest threat walking. And the world's only hope lies with two men who can barely stand to be in the same room. Deckard Shaw, a ghost of the past, forced back into the fray by a bond he thought long severed. His sister, his burden. And Luke Hobbs, the immovable force, a DSS agent of unwavering principle, tasked with an impossible retrieval. Explosion, sound of a cyborg whirring to life. Against them rises Brixton Lore, cyber-genetically enhanced, a man who sees humanity as a flaw to be corrected. He hunts them relentlessly, with a precision beyond human comprehension. But Brixton is merely a piece of a larger design, a chilling, unseen force that manipulates the very fabric of global power. A conspiracy woven into the data streams of our fragile civilization. To save Hattie, to retrieve Snowflake, to uncover the truth, they must navigate a world on the brink, through impossible odds, against an enemy who always knows their next move. This November, the only way forward is through them. Deep, final bass thump and explosion. Hobbs and Shaw.
This whole thing is a nightmare. Zero chemistry.
What do you do?
What thing? Best thing I've ever seen. Let me get going. It's not the dance you want to do with me. What, you're 3?
2, doing it.
Saving you.
It's disgusting.
Girlfriend. Dad.
It's too good looking to be your sister.
Very funny hat.
It's embedded in capsule.
Bag the asset. Now or never.
I'm more of a now. No one tells me.
Well, Big Brother lecture, really?
Back and I call it pride. I got a mean. You should have man. And I will win.
It's a ghost. It's supposed to be dead. Life again.
tell you, we ain't gonna...
Through there. It's not the whole...
What's the matter? You got a lot of bad guys behind you?
Access denied. Access denied. Access granted.
What do you do? There he is. Pretty fast.
I thought it was a hell of a good idea.
Stronger than his own self-preservation.
Wouldn't change your mind.
Of your forehead.
You're not gonna shoot.
In the second truck!
On it!
The Jagger!
Never fuck.
Engage drones.
We're running out of road!
They ain't gonna make it! Bring it!
Huh?
You trust me? Driving, I'll make it!
Oh, there he is.
Breathe in nice and easy.
Hit him with the moon side! Incoming!
Hey, remember when it hit zero? Henry!
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst into the high-octane world of Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. If you've ever wondered what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, both incredibly handsome and prone to witty insults, then you've come to the right place. This movie knows exactly what it is, a spectacle of muscle, explosions, and pure, unadulterated absurdity. Get ready for a masterclass in buddy cop dynamics, albeit with significantly more punches and property damage. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more. The whole thing kicks off in a blaze of flashing lights and urgent beeps as Hattie Shaw, looking sharp and incredibly focused, leads a team of MI6 agents into a top-secret Eteon facility. The air crackles with tension. Their mission is to intercept a bioweapon called Snowflake, a nasty programmable supervirus. They navigate sleek, futuristic hallways, the only sound a hushed whisper of their footsteps and the low hum of machinery. Suddenly, the sterile silence is shattered by the sharp crack of a gunshot. Chaos erupts. Hattie's team falls, one by one, under fire from an unseen enemy. A figure emerges from the smoke, moving with impossible speed and precision. This is Brixton Lore, a man encased in a dark tactical suit, his movements fluid but almost robotic. He's got that classic villain swagger, calm amidst the carnage. He declares himself Black Superman, a self-proclaimed evolutionary step thanks to Eteon's tech. Hattie, quick-thinking and resourceful, realizes the virus is about to fall into his hands. With no other option, she smashes the glass containment unit and injects the glowing blue vial directly into her bloodstream. The cold prick of the needle is a minor discomfort compared to the grim determination hardening her features. Brixton, furious, still manages to seize Hattie, pinning her against a wall, his super strength making it look effortless. He attempts to extract information, but Hattie, a true Shaw, is tough as nails. He stages a scene, making it look like Hattie betrayed her team and stole the virus, leaving her for dead amidst the wreckage, a perfect setup for a global manhunt. We get a glimpse of Eteon's capabilities and Brixton's terrifying enhancements right out of the gate, setting a very high bar for the kind of threats our heroes will face. The stakes are instantly enormous, a worldwide pandemic hanging in the balance, all because one brave agent decided to make herself the world's most dangerous biological storage unit. Cut to Los Angeles, where the sun is always shining and the muscle cars are always rumbling. Luke Hobbs is introduced in his natural habitat, a gym. The rhythmic clang of weights fills the air as he performs impossible feats of strength, sweat glistening on his ridiculously large biceps. He's training his daughter, Sam, in what looks less like a workout and more like a tactical boot camp for tiny humans. The bond between them is immediately evident, warm and loving. Suddenly, a phone rings, shattering the illusion of domestic bliss. It's the CIA, and they need his particular brand of aggressive negotiation. They lay out the situation: a stolen bioweapon, a rogue MI6 agent named Hattie Shaw, and the threat of global annihilation. Hobbs, ever the patriot, is in, but he's clearly not thrilled about the lack of vacation time. He's whisked away to a sleek, modern interrogation room where he's shown grainy footage of Hattie. "That's her," a stern voice states, "the traitor." Hobbs scoffs. Looks like someone's got a bad rap, or this job's just gotten significantly more attractive. He's handed a file, the weight of the world now resting on his broad shoulders. Meanwhile, across the pond in London, the rain is probably falling, because it's London. Deckard Shaw is living a life of luxurious solitude in his ridiculously expensive penthouse, the kind of place with more gadgets than a Bond villain's lair. He's enjoying a cup of tea, a proper English breakfast, and probably plotting something devious. A knock on the door, and in walks an MI6 handler, clearly uncomfortable in Shaw's presence. They give him the same spiel: bioweapon, rogue agent, global threat. But here's the kicker: the rogue agent is his sister, Hattie. Shaw's immediate reaction is a mix of incredulity and simmering anger. "My sister? A traitor? Never!" he practically growls, his voice a low, dangerous rumble. He's shown similar footage, the same doctored evidence pinning Hattie as the culprit. His handler then drops the bomb. He's going to be working with Luke Hobbs. The mention of Hobbs' name is like fingernails on a chalkboard for Shaw. The sharp intake of breath, the slight narrowing of his eyes, the almost imperceptible clenching of his jaw. The deep-seated animosity between these two is legendary, a constant, low-burning fire that threatens to ignite at any moment. He begrudgingly accepts, driven by a need to clear his sister's name, and probably just to prove he's better than Hobbs. The stage is set for an epic, globe-trotting clash of egos, muscles, and sheer destructive force. It's a classic setup: two alpha males who can't stand each other, forced to work together for the greater good, or at least for the greater good of not having their heads handed to them by the bad guys.
The scene shifts rapidly, cutting back and forth between Hobbs and Shaw, both of them making their way to London. Hobbs is on a private jet, probably eating an entire cow, while Shaw is in his slick sports car, weaving through traffic with an arrogant smirk. You can practically feel the tension building, the impending collision of their personalities. They finally converge on Hattie's known safe house, an apartment in a bustling London neighborhood. Hobbs, ever the brute force expert, kicks down the door with a satisfying splintering crash, surveying the scene with an intense stare. Shaw, ever the stealth operative, has already picked the lock and slipped inside, making a dramatic entrance from the shadows. The air immediately thickens with their mutual dislike. Before they can even finish their obligatory exchange of insults, which is a surprisingly detailed verbal dance of who's stronger, smarter, and more handsome, a blur of motion rushes past them. It's Hattie, a fleeting glimpse of dark hair and determined eyes. She's been hiding, observing, probably rolling her eyes at their peacocking. She takes off, a flash of agile movement, navigating the apartment with an almost supernatural grace. This triggers an immediate, chaotic brawl. It's less of a fight and more of a forced tango of destruction. Hobbs and Shaw, instead of cooperating, immediately turn their aggression on each other, because of course they do. Fists fly with the crack of impact. Bodies slam against walls with a resounding thud. Furniture explodes into splinters. The apartment, once a relatively normal living space, quickly becomes a war zone. Shaw uses his agility and martial arts prowess, dodging Hobbs's powerful swings, delivering quick, precise jabs. Hobbs, a human bulldozer, just tries to flatten Shaw, relying on sheer strength and brute force. They clash like titans, the rhythmic thud of their blows echoing through the building. The verbal barbs are just as vicious as the physical ones. "You fight like a fat ballerina," Shaw snarls, narrowly avoiding a massive haymaker. "And you fight like a broken toy," Hobbs retorts, trying to grab Shaw in a bear hug that could crush concrete. It's gloriously over the top, a ballet of destruction, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. Amidst their ridiculous display of testosterone, Hattie uses the distraction to make her escape. The irony is, these two idiots are so focused on beating each other up, they almost let their actual target get away. A classic move for these two.
Just as they finally manage to subdue each other for a brief moment, the building starts shaking. A low rumble builds to a deafening roar. Suddenly, a sleek black motorcycle, clearly not street legal, bursts through a window, ridden by none other than Brixton Lore. He's faster, stronger, and has more tech than a small army. He's come for Hattie. Hobbs and Shaw, momentarily united by the immediate threat, launch themselves into action. They pursue Brixton, the chase spilling out onto the bustling London streets. Brixton's motorcycle transforms, wheels spinning sideways, allowing him to navigate impossible gaps and make ridiculous turns. It's like something out of a video game, or maybe just a regular Tuesday in the Fast and Furious universe. Cars crunch and crumple under the impact, the blare of horns and screech of tires filling the air. Hobbs, driving a massive armored vehicle, plows through traffic with the subtlety of a runaway train. Shaw, in his sleek McLaren, weaves through the chaos with surgical precision, a sharp contrast to Hobbs' method of simply removing anything in his path. They're still bickering, of course, their verbal sparring a constant soundtrack to the destruction. "You just hit a double-decker bus, you maniac!" Shaw yells into the comms. "It was in my way," Hobbs growls back, barely missing a lamppost.
The chase culminates in a massive pileup and an explosive crash. Brixton manages to corner Hattie, his enhanced strength giving him a clear advantage. He throws her around like a rag doll, the painful thud of her body against metal sending a shiver down your spine. He tries to extract information, his voice cold and menacing, while Hobbs and Shaw finally catch up. They leap into the fray, a combined force of muscle and agility. This is the first time they truly fight together, and it's less of a coordinated effort and more of two separate, extremely powerful individuals attacking the same target. Brixton, with his enhanced physiology and a seemingly impenetrable suit, holds his own, effortlessly deflecting blows and unleashing powerful counterattacks. During the chaotic melee, Brixton reveals his history with Shaw. "You killed me, Deckard," he snarls, his voice laced with venom. Shaw, stunned, remembers a mission years ago where he thought he had eliminated Brixton. But Eteon, with their advanced technology, rebuilt him, making him stronger, faster, and more ruthless. This reveal adds a personal layer to the conflict, turning Brixton from a generic bad guy into Shaw's ghost of Christmas past, armed with a cyborg upgrade. The fight is brutal, punctuated by the metallic clang of their blows and the grunts of exertion. They manage to create an opening, allowing Hattie to slip away again, but Brixton is relentless. He's a true super soldier, impervious to most conventional attacks. They escape in the nick of time, but the experience leaves them with a new understanding of their enemy's capabilities and a grudging acceptance that they might actually need each other, even if it pains them both to admit it. They manage to get Hattie to a CIA black site, a sterile, highly secured facility where she's hooked up to a battery of medical equipment. The ticking clock is loud and clear here. The virus, Snowflake, isn't just sitting inert inside her. It's actively replicating, evolving, and on a countdown to release. The scientists explain the terrifying reality. Hattie is a walking bioweapon, and if the virus becomes airborne, It could wipe out half the planet. The extraction process is complicated, requiring a specific device and precise timing. The pressure is immense, a cold, clinical dread settling over the otherwise action-packed narrative. Hobbs paces, his brow furrowed with a mixture of concern and frustration. Shaw, surprisingly, shows a flicker of genuine worry for his sister, though he quickly masks it with his usual stoic bravado. "So, what's the plan, smart guy?" Hobbs challenges, gesturing to the frantic scientists. "We need the creator," Hattie whispers, her voice weak but firm. "Professor Andreyko, he's the only one who can build the extraction device properly." The hunt for Professor Andreyko leads them to Moscow, a city shrouded in a perpetual gray, a stark contrast to the earlier vibrant London. The intelligence leads them to a grimy, forgotten apartment building, a place where secrets go to die. Their entrance is subtle for them, which means only a few doors are splintered and only one person is accidentally thrown through a window. They find Andreyko, a terrified, disheveled scientist, holed up and clearly on the run. The moment he sees them, he practically collapses in relief, then fear. He confirms Hattie's story, revealing Eteon's global reach and Brixton's enhanced nature. He explains the snowflake virus is Eteon's key to wiping out humanity and replacing it with their own technologically superior species. Talk about grand villain motivations, right? Andreyko explains that he only ever built half of the extraction device. The other half, the crucial component, is hidden away in Eteon's main research facility, a fortress nestled deep within the irradiated wastelands of Chernobyl. Just as he's relaying this crucial information, the apartment door blasts inward with a deafening bang. Brixton and his Eteon goons descend upon them. Another brutal, fast-paced fight erupts in the cramped, claustrophobic apartment. The sharp crack of gunfire echoes in the narrow hallways, the air thick with plaster dust and the acrid smell of burnt gunpowder. Hobbs, using his massive physique, becomes a human shield, taking down multiple Eteon soldiers with bone-crushing blows, the sickening thud of bodies hitting walls a constant accompaniment. Shaw, meanwhile, uses the tight spaces to his advantage, his agile movements a blur as he disarms and incapacitates enemies with precise, efficient strikes. He's like a deadly ninja who prefers tailored suits. Amidst the chaos, Brixton targets Andreyko. Despite Hobbs and Shaw's best efforts to protect him, Brixton, moving with impossible speed, grabs the professor. There's a sickening snap, a brief muffled cry, and Andreyko is gone, eliminated before he can give them any more crucial details. It's a gut punch, a reminder of the villain's ruthlessness and their mounting urgency. They escape the apartment by the skin of their teeth, leaving behind a trail of destruction and a growing sense of dread. The target has shifted. Now they don't just need the virus extracted. They need to infiltrate a heavily fortified Eteon stronghold in a radioactive zone. Just another Tuesday for these guys, I guess.
With Andreyko gone, and the full picture of Andreyko's plans becoming chillingly clear, Hobbs and Shaw need a serious upgrade in terms of firepower and transportation if they're going to break into Chernobyl. This brings them to an unexpected but always welcome player in the Fast universe, the Underworld Network. They need a fixer, a provider of exotic weapons and bespoke vehicles. Cue the entrance of Madam M, played by Isa Gonzalez, who oozes confidence and danger. She runs a high-end black market operation specializing in, well, everything illegal and awesome. Her lair is a veritable playground of custom vehicles and advanced weaponry, all bathed in neon lights, looking like a secret rave for super spies. The moment Hobbs sees her, there's an instant spark, a lingering history evident in their glances. They clearly have a past, a brief, passionate entanglement that ended with a vague promise of future shenanigans.
She teases him mercilessly, her eyes dancing with amusement, while Shaw watches their interaction with thinly veiled disdain, probably wondering if Hobbs manages to charm everyone he meets, even when he's being a total grump. "You know everyone, don't you, Hobbs?" Shaw quips, a hint of sarcasm in his voice. "Only the people who matter," Hobbs retorts, puffing out his chest. Madam M, after some charming negotiation and a few pointed jabs at Hobbs's expense, agrees to help. But her help comes with a crew, a motley assortment of mercenaries and tech experts who look like they've walked straight out of a video game. They are a diverse, highly skilled, and heavily armed bunch ready for anything. The plan is laid out. Infiltrate the Chernobyl facility, locate the other half of Andraco's extraction device, and get out alive. The sheer scale of the operation is daunting. Chernobyl isn't just a radioactive wasteland, it's a high-tech fortress designed to keep everyone out. The team gears up, the metallic click of weapons being loaded filling the tense silence. They choose their vehicles, each one modified for extreme conditions, reinforced against explosions, and rigged with enough weaponry to level a small country. Shaw, with his tactical mind, meticulously plans the ingress and egress, while Hobbs, with his pragmatic brute force approach, outlines contingency plans that mostly involve smashing things. Hattie, though still weakened by the virus, insists on joining them, her determination unwavering. She's not just a damsel in distress, she's an active participant in her own survival. The team departs, heading into the desolate, irradiated landscape, the ominous outline of the Chernobyl power plant looming in the distance, a silent promise of danger.
The infiltration of the Chernobyl facility is a masterclass in tense, synchronized chaos. The team moves through the desolate, overgrown landscape, the Geiger counters clicking incessantly in the background, a constant reminder of the invisible threat. The air is thick with a chilling silence, broken only by the crunch of their boots on debris and the distant hum of Eteon's security systems. They breach the perimeter with a series of coordinated explosives, the deafening boom echoing across the empty plains, followed by a shower of concrete and twisted metal. Alarms blare, painting the darkness with urgent red light. Eteon soldiers swarm from all directions, their sleek black uniforms a stark contrast to the crumbling industrial decay of the facility. The fight inside is intense, a swirling ballet of gunfire, hand-to-hand combat, and strategically placed explosions. Hobbs leads the charge, a one-man wrecking crew, his powerful punches sounding like baseball bats hitting concrete. He tears through enemy lines, his movements fluid despite his size, tossing soldiers aside like rag dolls. One unlucky Eteon grunt makes the mistake of trying to tackle him, only to be met with a forearm that feels like a brick wall and a grunt of exertion from Hobbs. Shaw, meanwhile, moves with his signature precision, his movements almost too fast to follow. He disarms enemies with a flick of his wrist, takes them down with a perfectly placed kick, his movements efficient and deadly. He's like a human scalpel, cutting through the enemy ranks with surgical accuracy. Hattie, despite her weakened state, proves her MI6 training, providing covering fire and navigating the complex layout with ease, her sharp eyes scanning for threats. Madam M and her crew are invaluable, their specialized skills turning the tide in several skirmishes. Explosions punctuate the battle, sending debris flying and shaking the very foundations of the facility. The metallic clang of stray bullets ricocheting off reinforced walls, the guttural yells of soldiers, the constant whine of machinery, it all blends into a cacophony of war. They face Brixton's enhanced soldiers who are almost as formidable as him, their movements unnatural and their pain tolerance off the charts.
It's a grueling push, but they finally locate the lab containing the other half of the extraction device. The room is heavily guarded, a final gauntlet of Eteon's finest. Another intense firefight erupts, a rapid exchange of fire that leaves the lab scarred with bullet holes and shattered equipment. They secure the device, a glowing, intricate piece of tech that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi museum. Just as they connect the two halves, initiating the delicate extraction process on Hattie, Brixton himself bursts onto the scene. "Did you really think it would be that easy?" he sneers, his voice dripping with condescension. He's here to take back his toy, and he's brought a small army with him. The race against time has just become a full-blown sprint, with a super soldier breathing down their necks. With Brixton breathing down their necks and the extraction device slowly working its magic on Hattie, the Chernobyl facility becomes a death trap. Alarms blare, lights flash erratically, and the building groans under the strain of continuous explosions and collapses. Hobbs and Shaw, along with Madam M's crew, initiate a desperate escape. Brixton is relentless, his enhanced speed and strength allowing him to easily keep pace, almost appearing in multiple places at once. He's like a particularly annoying gnat with a very high body count. The extraction device, a complex marvel of bioengineering, is still connected to Hattie, its delicate machinery vulnerable. They have to move it carefully, which for Hobbs and Shaw means carrying it through a war zone while simultaneously fending off super soldiers. The clang of heavy machinery crashing down, the sharp crack of energy weapons, and the desperate shouts of their team members create a chaotic symphony of war. They fight their way through collapsing corridors, dodging falling debris and bursting pipes. Hobbs, ever the tank, takes point, absorbing an impossible amount of damage while dishing out even more. He grabs a heavy piece of twisted metal, swinging it like a prehistoric club, sending Eteon soldiers flying. Shaw, ever the strategist, uses the environment to his advantage, triggering structural collapses and creating diversions, his movements precise and deadly. "Mind if I make a dramatic exit?" Shaw yells over the comms, just before an entire section of the ceiling caves in, blocking their pursuers. "Just try not to land on me," Hobbs bellows back, clearly unconcerned. They manage to get outside, only to be met by a swarm of Eteon vehicles and a low-flying helicopter, its rotors kicking up a storm of dust and radioactive particles. It's an aerial assault mixed with a ground invasion. The extraction device takes a hit during the escape, its intricate mechanisms sparking and sputtering. It's damaged, badly, and the precious few minutes they have left are dwindling. Desperate, Hobbs makes a snap decision. The only place he knows with the expertise, the resources, and the absolute loyalty to fix this impossible tech and protect Hattie is his estranged family in Samoa. Shaw, of course, is incredulous. "Samoa? You're telling me your family in a tropical paradise can fix a high-tech bioweapon extraction device?" He deadpans, his British sarcasm practically dripping. "They're good with their hands," Hobbs retorts, a defensive edge to his voice. The journey to Samoa is a race against time, with Eteon hot on their heels. They barely make it, crash-landing their damaged transport onto the lush green island. The reunion with Hobbs's family is complicated. His mother, Safina, is a formidable matriarch, her presence as imposing as Hobbs himself. There's an immediate tension, a deep-seated resentment from his brothers for him leaving the island and their traditional way of life. The rhythmic beat of drums and the singing of ancient chants fill the air, a stark contrast to the sterile labs and urban battlegrounds they've just left. It's a powerful cultural shift. But despite the initial frosty reception, the pull of family is strong. When they see Hattie, sick and vulnerable, and hear the story of global peril, the brothers, burly and proud, put aside their grievances. They are master mechanics, artists in metalwork, and engineers of the unconventional. Their workshop, a ramshackle collection of salvaged parts and ancient tools, becomes a bustling hub of activity. The metallic clang of hammers, the whine of grinders, and the sparks flying from welding torches illuminate the night. They understand the urgency, and their skill is impressive, almost mythical. They lovingly repair the extraction device, incorporating traditional Samoan artistry with cutting-edge science, proving that sometimes the old ways are the best ways, especially when you have a family full of geniuses who also happen to be built like brick shithouses. As the repaired device hums to life, ready to complete the extraction, the peace of the island is shattered. Eteon arrives in full force, a menacing fleet of heavily armed vehicles, jeeps, and attack helicopters descending from the sky, their rotors whipping the palm trees into a frenzy. Brixton Lore, still very much alive and very much a villain, broadcasts a chilling ultimatum. Surrender Hattie and the device, or the island will be annihilated. The Samoan villagers, led by Hobbs's family, refuse to yield. This isn't just a battle for Hattie, it's a battle for their home, their heritage, and their way of life. The air thrums with a palpable tension. Hobbs, with a deep, guttural yell, rallies his family and the villagers. They are not just farmers or fishermen, they are warriors, their ancient traditions honed over generations of defending their island. They arm themselves not with high-tech weapons, but with traditional Samoan war clubs, spears, and anything heavy enough to be swung with devastating force. The war cries echo across the beach, a primal roar challenging the encroaching modern threat. Even Shaw looks impressed, a rare flicker of admiration in his normally cynical eyes. "So, this is your family's idea of a welcoming party," he mutters, a faint smirk playing on his lips. "Pretty effective, I'd say."
The battle for Samoa is an absolutely breathtaking, no-holds-barred spectacle, marrying ancient tradition with modern warfare in the most explosive way possible. Eteon's forces, with their advanced weaponry and relentless numbers, storm the beach. The sand erupts with explosions, the sharp crack of rifle fire echoing against the deep, resonant thud of Samoan war drums. Hobbs's family, joined by the entire village, meet the assault with an unbelievable ferocity. They fight with a primal fury, their bodies moving with a fluid, powerful grace. Wooden spears fly through the air, finding their marks with a sickening thud against body armor. Massive war clubs connect with Eteon soldiers, sending them sprawling. It's a raw, visceral fight, a stark contrast to the sterile, high-tech battles earlier in the movie. Hobbs is a titan on the battlefield, a force of nature. He wades into the thick of it, his bare fists connect with a brutal, bone-shattering force. He grabs a heavy chain, swinging it around his head like a human wrecking ball, clearing swaths of enemies with each devastating arc. He's less a man and more a walking, talking, punching tank. His brothers are equally formidable, each a specialist in their own right, moving with coordinated precision learned from generations of practice. One brother, Mateo, wields a giant sledgehammer, bringing it down with earth-shattering power, the metallic clang against Eteon tech ringing out loudly. Another, Jonah, with his engineering prowess, has rigged up a series of ingenious traps and defenses, sending vehicles flipping and soldiers scattering. Shaw, initially scoffing at the primitive tactics, quickly finds himself impressed. He orchestrates their defenses, using his tactical genius to guide the villagers' efforts, turning their traditional fighting styles into a devastatingly effective counterinsurgency. He even takes to the skies, piloting a rickety rickety old helicopter that the family has somehow managed to jury-rig into a flying battering ram. He attaches chains to the helicopter, using them to literally rip apart Eteon vehicles from the ground, the tearing metal a harsh symphony against the sounds of battle. It's an insane, over-the-top moment, pure Fast and Furious magic, and it's glorious. Explosions ripple across the island, fireballs bloom against the setting sun, and the air is thick with smoke and the smell of ozone. Amidst this incredible chaos, Hattie, though still weakened, contributes where she can, proving her mettle and fighting spirit. She's not just an objective, she's part of the team. The battle is a testament to the power of family, community, and the surprising effectiveness of hitting things with very large pieces of wood. You just can't beat that old-school charm. The battle climaxes with the inevitable showdown, Hobbs versus Brixton Lore. Brixton, still spouting his black Superman rhetoric, is a formidable foe. His cybernetic enhancements give him an unfair advantage, allowing him to anticipate Hobbs's moves, his strikes faster and stronger than any human. The ground trembles with the impact of their blows, the air crackles with their raw power. Hobbs, driven by a primal fury to protect his family and his home, unleashes a torrent of rage, every punch a testament to his raw, untamed strength. The crack of his fists meeting Brixton's armored body echoes across the beach. Brixton uses his tech to predict Hobbs's attacks, dodging and weaving with unnatural grace, then delivering precise, brutal counterstrikes. He kicks Hobbs with a force that sends him skidding across the sand, the impact jarring. But Hobbs, stubborn as a rock, refuses to stay down. He grunts, spitting out a mouthful of sand, and roars, lunging back into the fray. It's a clash of titans, a true test of strength against technology. Just as Brixton seems to gain the upper hand, delivering a series of rapid-fire blows that send Hobbs stumbling, Shaw intervenes. He drops from his helicopter, landing with a light thud, a wry smirk on his face. "Always the showman, aren't you, Brixton?" he quips, drawing the super soldier's attention. Shaw, with his agility and tactical brilliance, is a perfect foil to Brixton's brute force and predictive tech. He knows how Brixton thinks, how he fights, from their shared past. They engage in a lightning-fast exchange, Shaw using his environment, his speed, and his cunning to chip away at Brixton's defenses. He lands a series of precise kicks, the soft thud of his foot against Brixton's suit. They double-team Brixton, a synchronized ballet of destruction. Hobbs, fueled by Shaw's support, re-engages, his punches now finding more purchase. They coordinate their attacks, a powerful 1-2 punch that starts to overwhelm Brixton's predictive systems. The super soldier stumbles, his armor beginning to show the strain of their combined assault. Finally, with a perfectly timed, powerful blow from Hobbs, followed by a swift, precise strike from Shaw that targets a vulnerable point in Brixton's armor, the Black Superman is momentarily incapacitated. But before they can fully finish him off, an unseen, disembodied voice, belonging to the mysterious Eteon director, takes over Brixton's body, deeming him a failure and initiating a self-destruct sequence. Brixton's body glitches, then collapses, his reign of terror brought to an abrupt and cold end, leaving the overarching threat of Eteon still looming large, an unseen puppet master pulling the strings. With Brixton defeated and Eteon's forces in retreat, the island slowly returns to a semblance of peace, though scarred by the battle. The damaged extraction device, despite the chaos, manages to complete its work. With a final, delicate hum and a soft click, the snowflake virus is successfully extracted from Hattie, safely contained and neutralized. The immediate threat of a global pandemic is averted, thanks to the unlikely partnership of Hobbs and Shaw, and the fierce loyalty of the Hobbs family. The relief is palpable, a collective sigh of breath from everyone on the island. Hobbs finally reconciles with his mother and brothers. The shared trauma, the common enemy, and the realization of what truly matters have mended the old wounds. There's a powerful emotional embrace, a quiet understanding passing between them. The family, once fractured, is whole again, stronger than ever. Hattie, now free of the virus, shares a quiet moment with her brother Deckard. There's a newfound respect, a deeper bond forged in the fires of shared danger. She sees past his gruff exterior to the protective brother beneath, and he, in turn, sees her strength and resilience. The unspoken affection between them is evident, a subtle nod, a shared glance. Hobbs and Shaw, true to form, are still bickering, but their insults now carry a different weight. It's less genuine hatred and more a playful rivalry, a grudging respect that has blossomed into an odd sort of friendship. They've saved the world together, and while neither would admit it, they actually make a pretty good team, even if they'll probably never share a cup of tea. The movie ends with the lingering threat of Eteon, their unseen director still a mystery, promising future conflicts and more impossible missions for our mismatched heroes. The world is safe for now, but the fight against global techno-terrorism is far from over. The end credits roll, but of course this is a Fast and Furious movie, so we get a couple of delightful post-credit scenes. One hints at the true identity of Eteon's director, someone deeply connected to the Shaw family, leaving us with a tantalizing cliffhanger. Another shows Hobbs, ever the prankster, calling Shaw to tell him he's been receiving multiple calls about his identity being stolen, implying that Hobbs used Shaw's personal information to buy some hilarious, utterly random items online. The final shot is of Hobbs spending quality time with his daughter, back in Los Angeles, proving that even a world-saving, muscle-bound DSS agent needs his family time. It's a perfect blend of humor, set up for future adventures, and a reminder of the core values that underpin even the most ridiculously over-the-top action films.
As the dust settles on this wild ride, we're left with a powerful sense of the unbreakable bonds of family, whether by blood or by shared purpose. It's a testament to the idea that even the most unlikely allies, propelled by their inner strengths and a surprising capacity for forgiveness, can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The movie, for all its explosions and high-octane stunts, gently reminds us that our greatest power often lies not in technology or brute force, but in the unwavering connection we have with those we love and protect. Hobbs and Shaw truly stands out as a joyous, self-aware blast of pure popcorn entertainment. It's a love letter to the ridiculousness of its own genre, delivering breathtaking action sequences, genuinely funny banter, and a clear affection for its characters. What makes it special is its unashamed commitment to fun, proving that even a spin-off can pack a mighty punch and leave audiences grinning from ear to ear.